Homeworthy, I'm Hollis Loudon, and welcome back to episode 3 of Design Diaries, where we're pulling back the curtain on interior design from concept to completion. Today I'm showing you the stunning completion of one of my favorite projects, my client Erica's incredible printing house Loft.
It is 12:34, and we're on our way to Erica's. Kimberly's already there, and we're gonna talk all about the shoot.
Joining me today is my amazing stylist and creative partner, Kimberly Power.
To hire an interior designer, I think, is like a huge flex as a person.
Yes.
But hiring one doesn't mean that you have terrible taste. It means you need someone to execute.
We're gonna walk you through this gorgeous space, share some of our styling secrets, and chat all about the world of design. So come along as I transform houses into homes, one vision at a time. This is Design Diaries.
So currently we are in my client Erica's apartment, which is absolutely fantastic, in the West Village. And we were here in our previous episode, and somehow we caught like the entire move-in. So we're not near done yet. There's a lot of finishing touches to be done, but so much has been moved in. And so we're here today and we're doing a walkthrough with my amazing stylist, Kimberly Power of Kimberly Power Creative, and she is here to advise on our upcoming shoot. And by shoot, I don't mean a Homeworthy shoot, I mean a photography shoot to potentially be used for a magazine pitch and for, of course, lifestyle images, Instagram, etc. So Kimberly's here to advise on kind of what we're gonna do with the shoot, finishing touches, give me a different, perspective in terms of design direction, and kind of like walk through everything. So thank you for coming.
So we're here today. We've been walking around the apartment. We're preparing for an editorial shoot. So basically what Hollis and I do is we walk around each room and we look at each vignette and we talk about accessories that we need. We talk about florals that we see, plants that we see, placement for trees that we might see. We really get down to the nitty-gritty of what angles we see for the photographer and what accessories we need to buy and what we would potentially get at the flower market. Like, this is all about inspiration and really looking at each placement for what we have that we can use that's already here, and then what we need to get to really finish it off for the shoot.
Are we excited? I feel like I'm giving the speech from Zoolander.
We're super excited, and we do have ideas on where it's going to go, but we're not gonna say anything yet. We're not telling yet.
So right here we have these, and this actually had a third piece. We moved it upstairs because of the fact that it was too long.
Too much.
Then styling this, we ordered a lamp for here. It's travertine. It's stunning, and it's going right here. And then this needs like valet tray, floral arrangement, gracious, like really cool vibes. And like Erica expressed she wants more of like, we've gone super like modern and new. She wants more like vintage, like the rug is like, that's like an antique rug that we had brought in. And so like those are like the vibes that need to be integrated and like kind of bohemian.
She wants to like layer things.
The layer, like that's what we're like, that's why you're here. It's like, we're bringing it to the finish line. Obviously gonna shoot it, but it's like, what are the pieces that need to get it to that point where it's like, F you good. I can't say
lived in and layered.
Lived in and layered. We bring in things the stylist will select, and then sometimes the client buys them.
So there's several things that you can do. You can borrow things from companies that you have relationships with. And in those instances, when you're borrowing something and you bring it to a shoot, that's when the client can say, oh my God, I love these.
Yeah.
Let's not return them to the company that let you borrow them. I want to keep them in my home. I love them so much.
Yeah. Like you kind of can take them on approval, or it's lending.
Yeah.
Or another way and to do this, because we are kind of speaking about like becoming an interior designer or even like you like stylist. It's like, it also builds great goodwill with a brand.
Totally.
Yeah.
And that's one of the most important things, is having relationships with brands, because when you can go to them and say, I'm doing a shoot and I need X, Y, and Z, and they're more than willing to give it to you for this exact purpose.
Yeah. So that's definitely something. So like, let's think about that. So we actually haven't done anything in here because like nothing really had to be done.
Well, we're going to shoot the bathroom, right?
Well, that's up to you, but it needs to be full home, so yeah.
So I would say we need a new shower curtain. She needs a new rod.
Oh
to
yeah,
hold
it's
it.
leaning, yeah.
Yeah, because it's leaning. But we could do a great shower curtain, and we could get some great towels from Matuk with like a green line on it, like a scallop line.
Or we do look linen because they're great. Like that's a great price point for this.
Great. Whichever company we want to go with.
Yeah. You are a interior stylist.
Yes.
Can you tell us about your background? Because I like feel as though I was saying today, I don't know how to explain what a stylist does, and that's why I wanted you to come for the walkthrough, because of the fact that I want people to know exactly on this episode what people do. Okay. I also want to rationalize my expenses to my accountant. So for all of you who have seen my episodes of Dumbo and of my Home Upstate for Christmas, my Homeworthy episodes, Kimberly was a stylist on both of those. So she advised on the flowers, she advised on the placement, she helped with the production of it, she helped with post-production in terms of any edits, all of that. And you have like a really interesting background of how you got into this and kind of what you do. So tell us what you do.
Okay. Well, when I first moved to New York, I worked at Rizzoli, the publishing house.
Yes.
And that is how I met my boss, Charlotte Moss.
Yes.
Who is an interior designer who's been in the business for
like legend.
like 40 years.
Legend.
Yes, she is a legendary interior designer. So I got a lot of experience working for her. I worked on 5 books. I styled her photo shoots. And that's where I got a lot of my experience there. I launched my own business, Kimberly Power Creative. And so half of my business is interior styling for interior designers and brands. And the other half is coffee table books.
Yes. And then here, like, this again is more decorative accessories, like and more permanence. And then, but books, I think, something like that.
This is where I would see the big floral moment.
Okay.
Here, and probably on one of the sides.
Yeah, maybe that switch or something.
Or probably here, maybe to bluff out.
Yeah. Okay,
like
that makes more sense. Yeah.
And then we can have books and objects. And I'm wondering if we have like a hurricane or something else with height.
Yes,
Yeah.
It's low. I think a permanent hurricane. So if
that would be really nice. I like to play on the way that you would normally live. Like I'm there not to change the designer style or the homeowner style. I'm there to enhance it and make the camera see it. So I always like to play up on like collections that the homeowner has, or, you know, special objects, collections like that. I think those are really special and you can't buy those in a store. So during a shoot, those are things that I think really come through. Like in your shoot, you had some really special things that came through in shots that we used.
One of the cool things that you did, which I loved, was, oh my God, the Elf cereal.
Yeah, that was so fun.
There was a cereal moment. Like, our family doesn't eat pastry. We do pastries and stuff, but like I'm celiac, but we're not like a big like bacon everything. So when she styled the breakfast table, like we're big cereal people, she got this like limited edition Elf cereal. That image was like so freaking cool.
And the special Italian cookies from this famous bakery in Brooklyn that does like the best.
So we have images of that. Again, we shot it professionally, and then the next day we did the other thing at the Homeworthy. Then the gift wrapping station with the you did all the wallpapers, and we did that around the tree too. So like those are the things too. Like in my home, it was like, okay, like we're not gonna be those people who are like doing like full spread breakfast. It was like cereal, and then even utilizing what was my mom's, what I did our pantry, and we had a desk that was like my mom and I were building out for her correspondence. We turned that into a gift wrapping station. So it was like, it made everything make sense. And then even utilizing the wallpapers that we had in it and that mimic the tones of like the living room, like all those different things. And I said, I'm too close to the projects to be able to shoot them. And that's why like we bring in a stylist.
Well, it's also so that you can focus on the big picture. If everybody is there to do their best at what they do, and that's why you hire professionals, if you're focusing on like what the photographer's doing, what the stylist is doing, you're not able to focus on the big picture.
Oh, at all.
At all. And then you get the photos back and you're like, oh my God, why didn't I see that? And that's because you weren't able to do your job.
Yeah.
And like that's the biggest thing that I would say, and the most important part of a shoot, is that everybody is supposed to like stay in their lane and do their best, and it is a collaborative process.
Yeah.
And that's what makes shoots amazing. And that's how Hollis and I met, through interior styling. Like she said, we worked on Dumbo and we worked on her house upstate.
Yeah.
And
I trauma bonded from her.
I think that like sometimes stylists get like, it can be like a cringe word for some interior
We're all cringe.
designers. Like they feel like, oh, like if my work is good, I don't need a stylist.
That is so true. I've never thought about it like
and
that.
I would never want to imply that like that's why you need a stylist, because you don't. The point of a stylist is to enhance your work so that it shows through on the camera.
That's really true.
It's not to change anything. It's not to change your aesthetic or to change your style. It's a collaborative process so that it reads through and it comes through on camera, because we all know that like real life and camera are totally different. On camera could look like it's touching the wall when it's really like that far away from the wall.
Behind the scenes of it is like nitty gritty, and I love that you spoke to the stigma behind it. To hire an interior designer, I think, is like a huge flex as a person.
Yes.
But hiring one doesn't mean that you have terrible taste. It means you need someone to execute.
Yes.
And you need someone to take what you're thinking about and like create a vision. Like you give them the inspiration and you obviously gravitate towards someone. But it is so true. I think people don't want to admit that they hired a stylist for their shoots because of the fact, now it's industry standard, but there's sometimes people in the industry, designers, will not credit their stylist, or they won't admit that they had one because they feel like it takes away from their talent.
Yes.
And it's so not true, whereas really it's like your stylist and your photographer and everything, they're just like elevating what you've already done.
Yes.
And bringing a different perspective to it.
Let's go into the living room, because the ceilings are so high,
Right?
and the windows are there. We're not obscuring any view.
Yeah.
That could be really, really beautiful.
Right? And then that's, okay, so then here, there's the bowl that broke in transit.
Yes.
Is this like spackled, beautiful, like it's this large bowl, lemons.
Ooh.
You know, but that's for always. That's what I said, because it's good luck to have lemons. I'll take the stylist for a walkthrough.
Or we'll do it, if you can't do a walkthrough with the stylist, you'll do a Zoom
and walk them through the project. But that bowl is going there, it just broke. But then this is more of a permanent thought. This spot here, we have this tray. Then these all I've already sourced. So these are like, I picked these accessories, but of course it's like finishing. So there's this, which is leather, which also
that could go up.
that was gonna go there.
That's
keys.
perfect.
Okay.
I love that.
Love that, okay.
Putting that over there.
Yeah.
So what is the function of this table for the family, like for life?
Work from home, coffee, dinner.
Okay.
This is truly like, again, like multi-purpose. And then the purpose of those are like basket weave leather poofs, and then this chair is that creates additional seating so that this can pull out, and because technically this could really actually comfortably fit four.
Okay.
You know, I mean, it's tighter, but this is New York, you know?
Yeah.
And so this is for both. And the original tenants prior to this, like I saw all of the installation images, like MLS photos, and they actually had their dining table in the corner there and had everything shifted down, but it was so awkward.
Yeah.
Like you had to walk through, and it's like if you're serving.
Yeah, you want to be closer to the kitchen.
And then this, you know, credenza works more as a sideboard. And like, so that's also something too, that like the flow is continuous here. And then, you know, something interesting, again, I brought in the mushrooms because I love, and something interesting above on here, you know.
On the windowsill?
Something, there has, well, that's a U.
Well, do you want to keep the windowsill clean?
That's up to you. I want to shoot it 2 ways. I want to shoot it with something and then without.
Yeah, because I feel like if we do put the great branches on this coffee table and they're really spilling out, we're gonna obstruct a lot of that view, which I love.
Aren't these so cool? They're so fun. This is kind of like, again, like, so we need more vintage going on.
Yeah, totally. I feel like I like it.
On this.
I think I like it on the other one.
I agree.
Yeah, let's go bring them over there.
Okay.
Darling.
Okay. There's so much of it too, whereas if you're building your design career too, when you work with a stylist, something that you think about is like, where do you want the images to go? So like, can you speak to that too? Like, we spoke about this the other day. We went through all of my different projects, and when you're shooting a project, especially if you want to have it go and be somewhere else, you're using it for Instagram, you're using it for lifestyle. Like, I do always lifestyle, which is like me being in different clothes and different things because of the fact that like we work with different brands, and it's important to have like your face out there. But it is like, if you want to have a coffee table book, you need to have a certain amount of vertical and horizontal images. I didn't know any of this when I first started in the industry. Like, I had no idea.
Well, it's not even just for if you want to have a coffee table book.
Well,
but
just in like for
editorial.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that's really important when you're hiring a stylist or if you're working with a photographer for an editorial shoot, is you want to think about where the images are going to be going. Like, not just on Instagram, not just for your portfolio, but like, where are we going to pitch these images? Like, if you're going to send something to Veranda, then you should probably have a table setting.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to send something...
Like, same with flower.
Same with flower. If you're going to send something to Luxe, you should probably have it more pared down. Like, things like that. You want to be reading the magazines so that you can see what is in the issues, so that you can be keeping up with like what's being published, so that you know, like, when you're styling the rooms, when you're photographing the rooms, when you're writing your pitches, and you can include like what's special about each project. You're including what's going to be interesting to the editors at those magazines so that you can get your work published, because the magazines are getting smaller and it's getting harder to get published every single day.
No, literally. And that's why I think there's so many people, and like, as a stylist, like, you found me.
I did.
Through Instagram.
I did.
You also, if you want your project to go to a magazine, usually they ask for an exclusive. What is that?
An exclusive is...
And also like embargoing your project. I feel like people like don't understand, if they're looking to like pitch their project, that you really, if you post it on Instagram, it's considered published.
Yes.
Talk about it.
Well, so
that's a hot take.
And it's a hard take because
you have to decide if you're going to risk it.
You have to decide if you want to risk it or not. Because a lot of times, okay, like, look, we took pictures of Dumbo. So we sent it out, right? Like, let's see, we're going to see if it's going to get picked up, whatever. That can take a lot of time.
Oh, so you need to have patience.
So you have to have patience.
Yeah.
So you need to decide, like, is your patience worth it, or is it worth it to just get it out on the internet
and go for clients? Reposts, shares,
and branding, like cross promotion, brand deals, all of that.
Yeah.
Or is it worth it to get published?
So speaking of this, when I was doing my project Upstate Turner Lane, so one thing that I had to think about, and like it was the hardest thing that I've ever had to do, is I actually shot the project. It did not get seen. No one saw the light of day with that project for over a year and a half.
Yeah,
and that was,
you had to sit.
I had to sit and I had to sit and I had to sit. And there were magazines who wanted it, then passed because it wasn't a good fit. It wasn't that they were saying I didn't like your work, but it was because of the fact that, oh, this project like is the color issue. And you also have to think about what issue are you pitching it to? Is it House Beautiful color issue? Are you doing it for small spaces?
Also, their advertisers is a huge thing. So like they're looking at your sources to see who you used. And if you're using their advertisers, you're more inclined to get published because
it's so
they can plug it.
So long story short, I sat on those images, but the smartest thing that I ever did with that shoot was making sure that we had 1,000,001 really tight images that teased the project. So for example, a little vignette or like a little, corner of a chair or, the tightest little angle, because the second that you start to show the huge images, the full shots of a room, you're out.
Yeah.
And that's something too. And it's like sometimes it can get reused and repurposed and picked up, and a magazine won't care, or they'll run it for a digital run or something like that, or the projects, you want it just out there because you want to get clients or you want to get brand partnerships or whatever. But like a magazine will drop you.
Yeah.
And that's something I think people don't realize. For the purpose of this, like again, stark, beautiful, crisp, but maybe this is where we do in Dumbo. Last time we missed out on doing kind of the breakfast in bed moment. Do you want to do a tray? Do you want to do a throw? What are you envisioning? Because I want to make sure this isn't really more, the rug is very tonal. There's a leaning mirror coming here.
Love.
And then again, we need to style all of this out. And I was thinking like vintage perfume bottles, maybe a throw, maybe something. Do the nightside tables. But then this for me is just much more styling than it is really additions. She really wants a beautifully, and I feel calm in here.
Yes.
So for that, it's like, I'm not really looking to add more of anything other than to make it for the shots.
Yeah.
That's where it translates. And I do think maybe even bringing a little, like the side tables, you can see I kind of tried to bring some green up.
Yes.
And again, it was like we're mixing a ton of different things. And this, carrying the colors from the painting up maybe with florals could be really cool, or a cool throw, pop of color. And then just to show you, so you can walk us through our thought process, we have this little vestibule area in here, which I actually might do some sort of wallpaper or paint in here. And then this can come out. This is actually gonna be a vanity and a mirror above.
Beautiful.
With a little vanity chair. So that can be really well styled with like makeup and like Charlotte Tilbury, like really cool cosmetic compacts and like beautiful flush brushes.
Yeah.
So you tell me between this whole flow what you want to do so that we can, I think the floral market is going to be our best friend.
Definitely in here we can do pretty florals, and we can do, we can style this table with books, we can have flowers on it, we can have some of her, you can do a tray with like some of her jewelry on it.
Yeah, so
that kind of thing.
That's also something I'd love help with, like sourcing like a permanent, affordable tray to put there, whether it's like a cement or a ceramic or a sparkle, not sparkle, spackled. Like I know we need to break it up in here, and so we've done, there's marble down there, there's burl wood already, there's a darker burl wood, there's rattan, there's seagrass, there's jute, there's, so we just, whatever kind of material you want, that's kind of like what I'm thinking. And then, because I do want to bring in some pieces that you advise on that are permanent here. And then there is like, this could be cool with something. This is I actually love these tiles.
Those are very cool.
Right?
I'm
but
just
something
thinking,
even here.
We could put something there that
but it can't,
it would be blown out in the background. Like we could just do something really big and
what
green.
What if like it was cherry blossoms?
Yeah, or something more dense that's
Yeah.
green, so it's just blown out.
Yeah.
But what I'm really thinking about is the bedding. I think it would be really beautiful to maybe borrow something since she has the bedding that she loves already.
Yeah, I love
It's just
it.
going to be very hard to shoot. We
Yeah.
could borrow something really beautiful from Julia B in these tones.
Okay, yeah.
And we can get a colorful quilt for the end of the bed.
Ooh, I love it.
Like
Okay.
similar to what you had at the end of your
Yeah.
bed in Dumbo.
Yeah, Schoolhouse has some amazing options.
Yeah.
Etsy has some amazing options.
So
Maybe
we'll
something
bring
like
the
vintage.
color. We'll bring the color with the quilt, and then we'll do some really pretty like Julia B
Love it.
embroidered.
And I think with the quilt, what we can try and do is bring the colors from like the painting up.
Yeah, great.
Again, like I wanted this all to seem like this is a one bedroom, it's so cool, but like continuous flow. Mm-hmm. And then, it isn't a frame TV, but like I know even now we were trying to get an image up just so that like even for the purpose of this, it like didn't just look like a TV, but we can, have something up on there, like a cool, painting type thing, like, because we weren't gonna get a frame TV just for this. And yeah, I really like, she's again from Newport, so we have like these really cool photographs. We have the beach downstairs. So it's like keeping it urban, but also keeping it kind of like, there is upstairs here kind of this like California cool Soho house vibe.
It does feel
and
like that.
I love it. I think it needs more a grounding sense, you know, and the rug will definitely
The rug will do that,
And
yeah.
I love that the rug breaks up the parquet floor. And then just kind of like layering in, and if whatever, like we could even, if we want to just switch out the lampshades, like, so all those things, like send me whatever you think and we can go from there. And again, I think this is a good opportunity for, you know, her to see if we bring in with a couple different brands, things that maybe she would want to purchase at the end that were not necessarily, again, like, you know, part of the original design. Like I think that that's where the opportunity really lies here, especially with like a quilt and with color and with different things, is trying it on for size and then seeing if it works.
Yeah.
So this I totally defer to you because it's so hard, bathrooms and bedrooms to shoot, to make it really, no, they're like, don't, she's
They're
like,
hard.
I know. She was,
They're
for
hard.
the Dumbo apartment, myself and my social media content director were crawling on one side, holding it down. She was doing it. We were steaming. Millie had gone potty. She was a little puppy on the bed. It had to be washed. It was Thanksgiving, you know, weekend. It couldn't go to the dry cleaner. It couldn't be on. It was a nightmare. So whatever's going to make this bed shooting as easy as possible.
That's what we need to
That's
do.
what we need to do. And also using the right stylist, I think, is important, like because of the fact that you've obviously, and like there's people in the industry, like your contacts are also super important in terms of being able to connect me with people, because you do so much with other brands. Like if we do want to have something, you know, sent to us that is for a project, you have a better relationship in, you know, with each and every brand, where you do a lot of lending and exposure for them. Whereas for me, it's like there's not as much of that relationship. I'm on the buy side, not really the lending and production side. So I feel like that's something too, where stylists just like totally, they're like keyed into like what's coming out now, how could someone want to use something, what brands want to be affiliated with other brands, and like kind of the dynamics of that.
Well, that's the fun part too, is being able to work with brands and be able to borrow things for shoots and being like, oh, I have a shoot coming up with like this designer, like do you have something new that you would like? Or like I usually just pick something off their website and say, we would like to use X, Y, and Z. Can we, you know, can we borrow it?
Yeah, and like I never have spoken about this before, but like we can get this edited. I don't care.
Oh, no, what is she gonna say?
I know. So like full stop, I think there's like a very interesting thing going on in the industry right now, where there's, you know, the project that I'm doing in the West Village, my Dumbo project, you know, a lot of that was gifted. Full stop. Like, and I did brand deals, and I don't think that a lot of people talk about that, because I think that it's still super stigmatized. I don't think that designers want to admit that things were gifted, or again, that they used a stylist, whereas I'm like, I'll like scream it from the rooftops. Like I'm like, but one of the ways in which I approach brands, if I want to do something with them, like for example, I did Minted, which again, this art I just love, and I love their brand. One way in which I've like pitched them to have things, you know, gifted to me or do a collaboration that's paid, is they don't necessarily come to me. I come to them and I show them how they're going to utilize their product. So I'll show, okay, like, hey, I'm going to get this rug. I am going to have this stand rug put in this room with these Matuk linens and these, you know, lamps, and that cross promotion, it's very fine line, because you can't, you know, you're constantly pivoting because of the fact that I could never, you know, and I say it all the time, I could never afford half the stuff that I have now, you know, and again, the budget on certain projects that I own is very different than the ones that I rent.
Right.
And that's why I love that we're styling this apartment, because of the fact that this is so elevated and fun, but at the same time, it's still a rental. So everything, it's like, you know, it's all layered. And again, it's like we've decided here where we're going to save and where we're going to splurge. Like this rug was like a huge splurge, and like getting a really nice sofa and like spending on like the art. Like this is a higher price point for people. This isn't like Holiday Inn, you know, where it's like, you know, we're getting at Home Goods. So it's like, those are the things, but then utilizing also your lending contacts, having a great photographer, all those different things. Like, do we know where this is going to go? No.
Yes, and hard inserts are always like the best trick for a photo shoot.
And
because
no flange.
This is you.
We are going
you
for
don't want
gush.
this. You don't want
We're
this
going
to
for
happen
gush.
because you can't really like.
Well, those are definitely,
fake that.
you know,
these are great to sleep with.
No,
if you want.
but they're also, those are not the right size inserts. So note to self, this is why we're also doing this walkthrough.
For you.
For me.
For you.
Yeah. So I will let Anna know we need
bigger inserts.
We need bigger inserts.
And flange details are beautiful on bedding. but
Tell them the trick of the trade.
they need to be ironed.
Tell them tape.
And then I was going to after.
I get excited.
She knows what she's
I
doing.
got it. No. The reason I'm saying it is because I didn't know it until I worked with a stylist.
Yeah. So they're usually ironed, but on a shoot you can put tape behind it to keep the to keep it straight.
Awesome. Well, okay, I think that this is perfect because of the fact that this is like we're taking it to the finish line. So the next time you're back here, it's gonna be
shoot day.
shoot day, baby.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content, shopping guides, and so much more.